What is going on, guys? Insane Jugg back for another video. Second installment of NFL Roundtable with Jugg. We missed last week. That's my fault. No excuses. Really wanted to get an episode out last week, man, but just couldn't get it out. But this is a series I want to continue doing, so hopefully we can get this out every week for the rest of the season. And we've got a pretty good week of football, not gonna lie to you. So without further ado, man, I'll put some live events in the background. Let's get right into it. First off, Thursday night, we got the Rams heading over to take on the 49ers in the Cali matchup. I'll tell you what, man, the Rams have a lot of young offensive talent. Gerald Everett is starting to man up. You got Cooper Kupp, obviously. Sammy Watkins is a man. Todd Gurley had a good week last week. And Jared Goff is starting to look better as well. And that offensive line is a little more formidable than last year with the addition of Andrew Whitworth. And you can definitely tell when you look at that line. So, man. Defensively, I think the 49ers are very underrated. They actually have a pretty nice squad, especially that defensive line. It's a nice young defensive line, man, with those Oregon boys at the defensive end position. But I really like the Rams this year, man, and I want the Rams in San Francisco at Levi Stadium, man. I think that the Rams are going to get it done, and I think that the Rams are definitely a sleeper team this year. So, next up, you got the Ravens taking on the Jaguars in London. And I'm going to tell you what, man, they're going to start respecting my Baltimore Ravens. We've had probably 2 perfect weeks of football besides the quarterback position. Not going to get into that, but Jaguars just don't have enough on that offensive line to stop the pass rush of Baltimore. That defensive line is going to have a field day, whether it's Leonard Fournette running the ball or Blake Bortles trying to throw the ball. Man, Jaguars offense is going to get bottled up. Like I said, man, Jaguars do have Leonard Fournette. They do have Allen Robinson. They do have Allen Hurns, but Blake Bortles has been terrible. And honestly, man, I just don't see a way that the Jaguars escape with a victory over the Baltimore Ravens. So, give me the Ravens. Not biased. Next up, we got the Saints taking on the Panthers in Charlotte. And this is one of the toughest matchups of the week. I really like that 3-headed monster in the backfield for New Orleans. I think it's going to take some time for them to get it right, but I really do love that 3-headed monster. And what's his name? Brandon Coleman, or is it Michael Thomas has been looking really good for the Saints, man. He's been looking really good. The Panthers, I've been watching Cam Newton has been struggling. What I do like is what I'm seeing from the running back position as far as receiving goes. Christian McCaffrey getting involved in the passing game, and Jonathan Stewart is getting involved in the passing game. Kelvin Benjamin has been inconsistent. Greg Olsen is going to be out. I just think that the Saints are a better team. And it's tough to say that when the Saints' defense has looked as bad as it's looked the past couple of weeks. But, man, I just think that the Saints are equipped to beat the Panthers in Charlotte this time around, man. I just don't like the Panthers without Greg Olsen, man. I think they're going to try to rely on the running backs more, and it might work out for them, but I'm not going to lie, damn, this is a tough matchup, man. This Saints defense is horrid, and this is a perfect makeup game for Cam that could just come back. Sam Bradford had a field day, Tom Brady had a field day, so why not Cam, right? It's just it's a tough decision, man. It's really tough, but I do want the Saints in Charlotte, man. I want the Saints. That's a tough one, though. It really is. Next up, we got the Broncos and Bills, and I always want to root for the Bills, man, but offensively, they just aren't getting it done. Sammy Watkins would have been a big part of their offense this year. Really bad decision to trade for Jordan Matthews now that I think about it. Sammy Watkins is obviously number one receiver, and Jordan Matthews is decent number two at best. Not an elite number two, a decent number two. So, really bad trade for the Bills there, and I think it's jeopardized their season. I do like what I'm seeing from Shady. Tyrod Taylor looks okay, but I'm just not a fan of the Bills this year from what I've seen, and I don't think that anybody can say that the Bills is passing the eye test when they watch them play football. It's really bad, honestly. And the Broncos just got a huge signature win over the Cowboys and proved that their defense is definitely elite. Trevor Siemian had a great game as well. It was more the defense putting him in good field position, but Broncos are like a really good team right now, and Broncos are going to beat the Bills for sure. Next up, we got the Steelers and Bears. Bears, oh my God. What can I say about the Bears? Man, the Bears stunk up the field last week versus the Buccaneers. And Mike Glennon threw a pick six or two. It's only going to get worse for those guys. Bears look really bad. And from the looks of things, it looks like they're tanking for that first pick because things are not going well at all. And I think Mitchell Trubisky is going to end up seeing the field sooner rather than later. And it's definitely going to hurt him whenever he does see the field because there's no talent on that team other than Tariq Cohen, of course. But, yeah, easy win for the Steelers. Easy. And I hate the Steelers. Falcons and Lions is also a tough matchup. Ziggy Ansah had 3 sacks last week. 3. Now, I know that's against the Giants' defensive line, that the Giants' defensive lines are worse in football, but it does have to be noted, like, three sacks is incredible. Hello, Yanada, my guy. Also, damn, I hooked it. Fuck. Hello, Yanada also looked good. Devin Taylor looked decent. That whole defensive line is going to be getting after Atlanta. Atlanta does have an offensive line that's more than capable of protecting Matty Ice, but just has to be mentioned that those Detroit boys aren't anything to mess with. Stafford looks good. I don't like what I'm seeing from the running backs for Detroit. Hussein Abdullah, he looks okay, but he doesn't look good at all. Theo Riddick doesn't look good at all. Did it go back? What the fuck? Wasn't paying attention. But Theo Riddick doesn't look good. I just think that Atlanta has a better chance of winning this game. They got off on the right foot last week after having a slow week 1, and I think they're ready to get into mid-season form, and they're going to start that this week. Next up, Browns and Colts. Also a tough decision. I'm not sure where I want to go with this one, but what I do want to say is that I think this would be a nice confidence builder for the Colts, and that I think that's the way that the coaching staff is seeing it. But I just think, wow, this is tough. Can he not make a 42-yarder? A goal kicker can't make a 42-yarder? Okay. Well, can't do that live event again. But Browns and Colts is obviously a really tough matchup, and I don't know where I want to go with this. I'm not sure how I'm coming up with this decision, but Colts are at home, so give me the Colts getting a confidence builder in Week 3. Even with Scott Tolzien on the field, Colts are going to find a way to win somehow. Marlon Mack and Frank Gore are going to have a big game. Bucks and Vikings. Sam Bradford is day-to-day right now. He had a non-contact leg injury in practice, and they're not sure whether he will play this week or not. It's more likely that he will play this week, but there's a lot of uncertainty kind of built up behind that injury, and nobody, including myself, knows what's going on right now. So to be on the safe side, we're going to assume that Sam Bradford is not playing in this game, and if Sam Bradford is not playing in this game, then I don't see how they're going to beat the Buccaneers. Dalvin Cook, he looks good. The Vikings' offensive line doesn't look good. From a run blocking perspective to me, as pass blockers, they've improved tremendously from last year, and you can definitely see it. Vikings offensive line did a complete 180 from last year, but as run blockers, they haven't developed the way I would like them to. So I got the Buccaneers in Minnesota. Next up, we got the Texans taking on the Patriots at Gillette Stadium. Offensively, Houston obviously isn't consistent enough to be able to play with the Patriots. I do like what Deshaun Watson brings to the table. I thought that Donta Foreman and Lamar Miller would be a nice 1-2 punch in the backfield. Apparently, I was wrong about that. DeAndre Hopkins is still DeAndre Hopkins. He's a fucking monster, but Texans just don't have enough offensively, man. CJ Fedorowicz has been a ghost the past 2 weeks. I forgot he was on the team. Just nobody else is stepping up. I'm not even sure if Jalen Strong is still on the team, but if he is, that's terrible because I honestly forgot he was on the team. But obviously, the Patriots are going to handle that pretty easily. No really argument to be against that. I think everyone understands what's going to happen when the Texans take on the Patriots. So no need to even really delve into that. Next up, Giants, Eagles at in Philly. Man, I think everybody is so disappointed in the Giants right now. They were my sleeper pick for the Super Bowl, and I didn't take into account the fact that the Giants' offensive line is still as bad as it was last year. It is the one thing they didn't address in the offseason, and now they're kind of paying the price for it. Ziggy Ansah had 3 sacks on, I think it was Eric Flowers. Whoever their left tackle was, Ziggy Ansah had 3 sacks on them. And he was getting destroyed all night long. They had to double just so that he wouldn't get sacks anymore. So that shows kind of how bad this offensive line is. What else? Brandon Marshall has obviously been garbage the past 2 weeks. He's had a lot of drops, man. Sterling Shepard looks decent, and it's good to see Odell back in the lineup. Paul Perkins can't run behind that trash offensive line. It's not his fault, but Paul Perkins can't run behind the offensive line. And while the offensive line is bad, I'm not giving Eli the pass either. Eli has looked really bad as well. And even in situations where he's had time, he's made poor decisions. So Eli doesn't look good either, and it's not just because of the offensive line. But 24/7 player pack and an achievement pack, cool. I open the player pack right now, but Eli's look really bad. The defense looks decent, man. It's kind of what you expect from Giants defense from looking at what they've had. They've played well enough to win games. Just offensively, they're not consistent yet. Philly does look like it's picking up some consistency offensively. And I think this is a game where the home momentum is going to help these guys get a victory. I do think the Giants really want a victory bad, but that offensive line, man, I can't pick a team whose offensive line is so inept and think that they have any chance of winning the game. It's just not possible. So I've got the Eagles winning at home in Philly, man. Next up, Seahawks and Titans. And the Titans are actually favored in Vegas by 3. And Titans did look good the past 2 weeks, man. They did look really good. DeMarco Murray doesn't look great, but Derrick Henry does. So that's a good sign. Man, this is a tough one to pick. It's really going to come down to if the Seahawks can run the ball or not. And obviously, Eddie Lacy hasn't been able to do that. Chris Carson, I think, had a decent week last week. It's going to be a tough game. It really is. I'm not sure if Tennessee is going to struggle or not against that defense. I think they will. And I think this is going to be kind of a barn burner, 13-17 kind of game. This is like really a hard pick because I don't think the Seahawks are the same team that we've noticed the past couple of years. And it's kind of starting to show. And when I watch the Seahawks, I don't get that same vibe that I've gotten from them in the past. And offensively, they're not consistent enough. And I just don't. Give me the Seahawks over the Titans, man. I can't pick against the Seahawks. I don't think the Titans are there yet, man. But Seahawks are definitely gonna see if they're I don't even want to say a top team, but top 10, top 12 in the league. This game is gonna kind of define that if they're a playoff team or not. And if they lose to Tennessee, then they're not a playoff team. But big matchup for both of these teams, man. Tennessee doesn't want to be 1-2. They obviously want to be 2-1. So interesting to see where this matchup goes. Next up, we got the Chiefs and Chargers. I've liked what I've seen out of Phillip Rivers. I don't like what I've seen from the guys around him. His wide receiving core hasn't been bad. Terrell Williams, Travis Benjamin, and Keenan Allen, they've actually been pretty nice. But similar problem to Eli, that offensive line. Nope. It's not a good group of guys at all. And Eli too, but Phillip Rivers gets thrown to the mud a lot, man. And Kansas City is going to be sending that pressure from that 3-4. And it's hard for me to pick against Kansas City anyway with the way that Kareem Hunt's been looking. And that offense in general, they're pretty consistent. And they step up when it's time to step up. And that's a difference from Chiefs offenses in the past. They kind of relied on the defense more. Now they're a more balanced team. Chiefs are one of the best teams in the NFL. Give me the Chiefs over the Chargers in L.A., even though Chargers could definitely pull off the upset. Next up, we got the Bangles and Packers. I would love to pick the Bengals for the upset in Lambeau, but it's just not realistic. Bengals are kind of a team that's known for like having turmoil within the locker room, and I think this game is going to set them off, and it's going to set them to be in position to be one of the worst teams in the NFL this year. I would like to see the Bengals really try to get this running offense going versus the Packers this week. They've got Joe Mixon, Jeremy Hill, and Giovanni Bernard, a nice little three-headed monster. Would like to see these guys try to get it going this week, but I've got the Packers winning in Lambeau. Next up, Sunday Night Football. Raiders versus the Redskins. Marshawn Lynch is really in mid-season form right now. He looked really good last week versus the Jets. It is the Jets, but the Jets have a decent defense, so not even really a jab at the Jets because I feel like the Jets defense is hella underrated. But Raiders looked really good last week. Crabtree looks really good. But something is telling me that the Redskins are going to pull off an upset this week, man. I don't know. Something's telling me. And I'm going to do it, man. I'm not going to pick the upset here. Are you fucking crazy? Raiders are one of the best teams in the NFL, and while I do feel like the Washington Redskins can pull off an upset in the DMV, I'm definitely not ballsy enough to pick it. I've definitely got the Raiders going over the DMV and beating the Redskins, man. I can't pick the Redskins over the Raiders. I can't. Then last but not least, we got the Cowboys and Cardinals. I don't even want to go deep into it, man. I try to root for the Cardinals every year that I can, but my first overall pick in the fantasy draft, David Johnson, just gets out for the year. That shit is fucking depressing, man. I don't even want to talk about it. It's a fucking money league too, man. So I don't even want to speak about the Cardinals. I'm pissed. I'm sure Cardinals fans are pissed. Fantasy owners everywhere are pissed. Just give me the fucking Cowboys. I hope they fucking dominate the Cardinals. Anyway, that's gonna wrap it up, man. Second week of NFL Roundtable in the books again. Apologize for missing a week. Definitely wanted to upload, but sometimes the schedule doesn't really allow for that. So glad to see that I can record this. Try to upload this thing before the game starts tonight. So try to get this thing out to you guys, man. It's been your boy Insane Jugg with another video. Hope you guys enjoy it. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. All that means the world to me. And I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.